Hey, good evening, folks. This is Steve, Cal5JUF. Hope everyone's doing okay out there today. So today, or actually this weekend, I've been pondering my repeater situation and the way I've been kind of doing my repeaters and programming them and so forth. So I've kind of decided to shake things up a little bit and try something different. And I wanted to go over today with you what I'm doing and a little bit about the RT system software so I could kind of give you some demos on it. So what'll happen is what we're going to do first is I'm going to kind of go through my model that I've created, my matrix that I've built up, and we're going to go through a demo entering some programming data into the RT system software. And then we're going to talk about how to save that file to the micro SD card and then exporting it to a CSV file, which can be uploaded into other RT system softwares. My radio essentially is an FTM 300D. Got it mounted right there in the picture, and then on my antenna is a Comet dual band VHF antenna. Great antenna, great radio. They really do a good job. This is my base I use. Is pictures here from I think DX Engineering is where I got this stuff from. So what I'm doing is, or at least what I have been doing is I have a bank of repeaters from the North Texas NCTC network, which is a repeater network of linked repeaters that go from Albany, Texas, all the way to Paris, Texas, in East Texas. So this link, whenever you key up on one of these, repeaters, you actually transmit all across North Texas for the most part, from Albany all the way to over to East Texas area. So they use it for weather conditions and so forth. And when it's not in use for weather, it's available to open hams that they can talk anywhere they want. I never really got too excited about this because when I keyed up, you're keying up all over Texas and so many people are hearing you. So it just didn't seem to have the personal touch. So what I'm going for is a new plan to strategically program repeaters going west to east and east to west, starting in Abilene. And of course, typically what I'm going to do is I'll have repeaters in Abilene, CLYDE, Parker County, Hearst, Texas, Fort Worth, Dallas, UTD, Richardson, Plano. That's a duplicate right there. So the ideal is in one direction I can just flip the rotary memory location dial and go to one repeater to the next. Back the same way going in the opposite direction. This is a little more of a kind of a preview of what it's going to look like. Essentially, the plan is to have roughly about 26 memory locations, and in those 26 memory locations, I'll have uh, repeaters, simplex, and some C4FM, and on the 991A model, I'll have a single sideband. So this is what everything is going to look like. I'll have repeaters shown in yellow, blue is simplex, and orange is 2-meter single sideband. This is all the information, repeaters and tone squelches and so forth. All right, let's go ahead and go to the software and we'll get started on the RT system. Okay, we're back in front of the computer here. I'm going to go ahead and launch the FTM 300 programmer. And I'm going to show you the file that we programmed here. It's going to be this guy right. Let's see. Stand by. Okay, had one little boo-boo there. What we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and grab the file. So what I've done is I have entered in all of the frequencies that I had on this Excel spreadsheet here. I have copied them over into this particular file and I've named it FTM300D9 and there's the date. So what I'll show you real quick is just a couple of things. When you're entering a frequency, I'll just do one here for a kind of a demo. I'm going to let's enter 147.280. When you press the tab button, it is going to recognize the repeater shift as a positive or negative. And then of course you can select whether you want digital narrow voice wide, and this is going to be FM. Automatic mode select means that if your repeater is a dual mode repeater, C4FM and FM, the radio will switch to the appropriate mode. So if someone transmits in C4FM, it will switch to C4FM and vice versa. I'm going to put here just test repeater. And then of course on your tone, if it's a uplink and a downlink tone, you're going to use tone squelch. And then of course you pick the appropriate tone. If it's a tone only repeater, which means it's an uplink only, then it will just simply be tone and then of course whatever the appropriate tone is for that particular repeater. Here's your transmit power. You can select 5 watts, 25 or 50. One of the things I'll show you is you may have the need to reprogram a frequency with a 6.25 step, and I've done that here with this simplex C4FM frequency. And if you have to add a particular step, they call it, you can select this right here and change the step, or you can change it to auto. So the other thing is, like I said, the AMS digital narrow is going to be your C4FM. I've got a Texas Nexus repeater here. This is our simplex. We've also got our simplex frequencies here. FM 2 meter and 70 centimeter. And I'll delete that test repeater. So here's what I was going to show you. I'm going to save this file, and I'm going to save it 1121. And I've already saved it earlier, but what you would do is, for example, you would just put in, I have the file name FTM number 9 and then the date, and then with the ending FTM tells you it's an FTM file. And what you'll do is you'll just click save. It's going to overwrite it. Now, what you want to do next is, if you want to export this file as a CSV file, you can make sure you've got it selected up here on the tabs, hit export. And what you'll then is you'll select comma CSV, and I'm going to select this one here, and I'm going to put 9, and then I'm also going to put the date after that. It's going to be 11/21/2020, 2022. So this is called the CSV file. So we're going to use this file to upload it into every other program that we do. So this file is going to be kind of a common file that everything will be copied from or recreated from. So we're going to go ahead and save that. Now what we're going to do is, let's scroll down and make sure there's no other frequencies. Yeah, see, I found some down here when I programmed this earlier. I got to get rid of these. These are all left over. Got to get rid of those. Delete. Okay, now we're clear. Now we've got all the frequencies I want in there. Got to go to hit save, and let's export it again. CSV file. We need to update CSV file. There we go, right there. Now we're golden. All right, now let's go ahead and do it for the FTM3D. So we're going to go ahead and launch the FT3D software. We're going to select import. We're going to navigate to that file we just used right there. Now watch what happens when I import this. All of the frequencies are going to populate. You're going to go ahead and hit next, next. Oh, that looks good. Everything looks good. So now that's the same program we just had in the FTM300. It's now in the FT3D. So let's do save as. I'm going to put this one will be number 6. And I'll put the date, which is 11/21/2022. See how that works? I need to go back and fix this. I think this program accidentally changes them all to AMS when it's not supposed to. The only ones I want AMS are going to be the C4FM. The rest of these we're going to deselect them because I don't want the AMS turned on. All right, there we go. That looks good. Perfect. Now let's do the FTM7250. Let's go ahead and do import. There's the same CSV file. Okay, that looks good. Let's do this. Yeah, that looks good there. We'll delete that. I accidentally had that on there. Some of the descriptions aren't as long, so you have to abbreviate them in some of the programs. Some of the text fields aren't as long, but everything else looks good. So let's do save as, and we've already saved this one earlier. We'll save it as reversion 5, FTM 7250. And then the last one we'll do is the FTM 991A. And we'll go to import. And there's the same CSV file. And what we'll do here is we're going to go in and add those. One thing I'll tell you on the 991A, all your digital narrow channels, it doesn't recognize them, so you have to go in here and toggle them to C4FM. Oops. What we'll do next is we're going to enter the frequencies of, let's see, we're going to enter, and this will be for our single sideband, 144.22, 144.220. That's simplex, and it's upper sideband. And we're going to call this one 2 meter. So this is how I'm going to add those. 2 meter sideband talk. And I'll fix that. You can only have one talk one. We'll call that talk one. Let me enter the rest of these real quick. So we'll do, and actually I think you can actually, let's see here, copy. We'll do this one here, paste. And this next frequency will be 144.220 is simplex. No, that's the talk frequency. This one here is 240. 144.240. Gotta change that 4 right there. There we go. Let me fix these real quick. Okay, now we're about to finish this up here. I'm going to enter the last one, 144.220. 200, I'm sorry, 200 is simplex. And we're going to call that 2 meter single sideband simplex. And there we go. So now we have those additional frequencies I've added to the 991A. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do save as. And I'm going to go down here to number 10, which is the next one up. And I'm going to increment this to 11. And then I'm going to put the date 11/21/2022. Do save as. So now all this looks good here. I'm going to fix this real quick. 2 meter talk 1, 2 meter. So some of these you have to go back and tune them up. You have to fix them real quick. I'm going to fix these here. This is 3 and 70 centimeter. I'll fix these here. Okay, so I've gone through and cleaned up some of these real quick here. So now we've got everything right. And one thing on the 991A, you can go in here and you can set your quick memory banks and things like that, which if you want to go in and do that, you can also do that in software. So that's how you do it. There's the 991A with the additional single sideband frequencies at upper sideband. So we've got 220, 240, and or 22, 24, 26 for local, and then simplex is 200. So let's save this, save as. We've already saved it once. There it is right there, and we're good. Now the last thing we need to do is we need to go back to the FTM software. FTM 300, and we're going to take the profile and we're going to write it to a USB drive. And this looks good here. So we're going to go to communications, send write data to SD card, write data to SD card to finish, and then that will do that. And then all you have to do then is you take your SD card to your FTM300, turn it on, press and hold the F setup button, use the knobs and select SD card, select option 1, backup, and then select read all memory locations and just upload it. One thing I'll tell you, if you upload your settings and you have your automatic power feature turned on where it's supposed to turn off your radio every 2 hours or whatever, you need to go back and recheck that because sometimes that